Hello everybody! It's definitely not morning today. So, what are we doing today? Well, it pains me to do this bit because I know, well, it's going to be painful. So what I was thinking about doing was the panelization and yesterday, because like we've got most of the workflow stuff done, right? So then I'm like, well, if we're doing panelization, I kind of want a UI for it, really, you know, because I want to be able to display the results so that you can see what's going on. And then I'm like, well, is it UI o'clock, you know? I think it might be. I've been putting this off for quite a while, procrastinating somewhat, because I know it's going to be painful. Why is it going to be painful? Well, because UIs are painful, because there's so many different ways to do UIs. Last time we looked at UIs, we were looking at text-based user interfaces, and that was painful, and they were only text-based ones, right? So imagine a graphical user interface. God, that's going to be even worse. Okay, so let's think about this for a moment. Let me bring up Paint, or some other little tool that we can use to draw things on, or let's see if we can make a little short list. Actually, I'll just bring up I'll bring up this. Here we go. Right, UI or GUI requirements. Right. Okay. So what are my requirements for a GUI system? Okay, doesn't suck, looks nice, looks nice on at least Windows and OS X. Yeah. Has a decent widget library. Easy to use from Rust. Permissive license, as in we haven't chosen the license for this software yet, so we can't use any library that excludes us from using certain libraries, so it needs to have a permissive license. Because the options for licensing this code at the moment are either GPL or probably MIT or Apache license. Because this is a lot of work that we're undertaking, I don't want to limit myself to GPL 3 initially, because as soon as we start getting contributors, then you have to go back and ask all the contributors if you want to change the license from one license to another. So I've not even chosen the license yet, but it's probably going to be like the MIT or Apache license. Right, so therefore any GUI library needs to have a fairly permissive license as well. What else do we need? Oh yeah, maintained active user base. When I say active user base, I'm thinking about, you know, more than a handful of users. Why? Because if you get stuck with something, you need to be able to search for the solution and ask other users and so on. And if you're using some random GUI toolkit that nobody else in the entire planet uses, then you'll be beating your head against the brick wall for quite a while until you've sorted out the problem by yourself. And some of these things are the same for all of the things that we use in like crates and so on, wise, right? Yeah. Right. So. Oh yes, other things. Right. Needs to be able to integrate other rendering things. I'm not quite sure what the terminology for this would be. Rendering things, such as 3D viewer, for instance, right? Because I don't know, maybe an SVG renderer as well, right? Because one of the things we want to do at some point in the future, similar to how a pick and place machine slicer program shows you the slices of the thing, of the 3D model that you're trying to print, right? What I would like to be able to do with this in the future is to show the toolpath of the machine when you press play. I'd like to be able to do that. I'd like to also be able to do things like rendering Gerbers, for instance. What else would I like to be able to? I'd like to be able to show sort of like a 3D view of the machine and its current sort of head position and things like that as well, right? So there's a bunch of other things that I'd like to be able to do with this. So obviously, if we use some GUI library that only has like 2D stuff and doesn't support any integration with anything else, then that's going to be a no-go. Right. So ideally, some library that's got some decent examples of at least, you know, one of this type of thing. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, where do we go from here then? Okay. So, there's a log rocket thingamajigamy. Log rocket Rust GUIs, right? State of GUI libraries. And this is at the beginning of the year, right? And they've got a sort of overview of some of the ones that are out there, right? And oh yes, no JavaScript or TypeScript, etc. No. Right. So Tory uses JavaScript. Goodbye. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. GUI library. What selections? Yeah. Okay. Tory. No. JavaScript. Okay. Next. Druid. Unmaintained. Well, this isn't going well, is it? Okay, Xylem. Experimental. No releases. I had a quick look at this earlier. No examples. Yeah, right. Experimental. No examples. Incomplete. Etc. So, no. Next. Slint. We might come back to this one, but the problem with this at the moment is this situation. So you're like, you got to pay for it. if you don't want to do like attribution and so on. And then they say you have to use GPL3 for the project. So, Slint, let's say no, requires GPL3 or paid. I ain't paying for it. So, next, right, GTK-rs. Oh, it's GTK. I mean, it's 2024. It's bindings for like some crusty C stuff. It's no. GTK-rs. GTK, no. Doesn't suck was my first requirement. Legacy craft. Okay. Popular, you know, like maybe it's got some of the other things, but no. It's 2024. No. FLTK-rs. Right. I had a look at this morning. Right. Oh dear. So it's bindings for it, right? So then, like, (1998 to 2024). So it's like, do you know what I mean? Fantastic. Look, since 1998. No, oh Jesus. Oh, just, oh dear. And good looks. I mean, really? Okay. So, you know, we'll go back. Okay, wait, look. There's some screenshots. It's just, but it's still bindings and so on. Examples. It's not looking great. What was interesting though was that in the examples thing, was it the examples? No. Where was it? Tests. No. No, I can't find it anymore. FLTK cases. Oh. I thought this morning I was looking at this and there was some examples of like integration with some other things. Where is it then? Oh, here it is. Was it this or was it this? Ah, yes, there was so you know, there's a reasonable amount of examples. Often these examples don't look great, but what I'd really like to see is more sort of like widgets and so on. This wasn't what I was looking at earlier. I was looking at some other examples before. Let's have a quick look at the book and the documentation. I've not ruled this out yet. Let's just click one of these. We made the mistake the other day of looking at the book and assuming that all the documentation was actually there when we looked at that time library. Ooh, this one's actually got things that's there. Amazing. Let's have a look at the widgets then. Come on. A button. 80 widgets. That's a reasonable amount. Okay, buttons. It's got some buttons. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty. Labels. Oh, it's got labels. I mean, look at that font rendering. What were they thinking? Okay, we're going to look at the text bit in a bit. What have we got here? We've got group widgets. We're going to need groups. Menus. Let's have a quick look. Create a window, create a group, stick a label and input and a button on it. Why does it go? Text. Browsers. What is this? Jeez, really? I mean, you know, maybe. Trees, well, you're going to need them. Tables. Yeah, going to need them. What's this? Uh-huh. Custom widgets. Uh-huh. Layouts. Yeah, layout's quite important because you want to be able to resize the window, right? Yeah. Uh-huh. Please tell me we can change the font. Okay. Okay, so we can make the text look like it doesn't suck. I don't know what the pixel rendering is going to be like, but we'll see. What about okay, so I'm going to say maybe FLTK. So, next one. Iced. Let's have a look. There's iced RS and there's iced. Okay. Let's have a look at this example. I mean, it doesn't look like it sucks. You know, it's not going to match the native GUI appearance. Well, I mean, what is native these days? There was an interesting blog post from the people doing Xylem about what native means, and on Windows, it's like you've got no clue what native really means, because there's like the legacy sort of Windows XP, sort of pre-XP GDI library stuff, and then you've got the failed Metro stuff, and then you've got all the failed .NET stuff, and then you've got the new failed settingsy styled stuff, and it's like, it's just a nightmare. You're never going to get a native look, basically, is the upshot of it, which this is what the guy wrote, and I'm inclined to agree with him. You're just doomed. You're just doomed. All you can hope for is something that is fairly sane across multiple different platforms. And we're certainly not going to use something like wine or something like that. That'd be a disaster. That would be a disaster. So that's an interesting example. Let's have a quick look at the source code for this before we even dig into the library. Let's go main. What does it do? That's a lovely short main method, isn't it? It gives you an iced result, CLI parse, and then it goes X modits launch, so it's probably that. App X modits. Oh, where's that then? Oh, it's here. Some messages, yeah. A view. Update, giant update message with all the things you can do, yeah. GUI app. So I've done stuff like this in the past, like years ago, with like Windows stuff, and you end up having this ginormous single method in a lot of these GUI libraries, which basically just has to deal with everything, couples everything together, and it's just a nightmare. But this is GUI apps, though. There we are. And then view, yeah, just sort of see what we're getting ourselves in for. Alright, let's look at the documentation a little bit more. Let's have a quick look at this. Is there a little... What is this? Head tracking. Funny. Well, they've clearly got some 2D things going on here, haven't they? That's 3D things going on there, so that apparently works. Oops, a daisy. What's this? Okay, so is this Rust base and uses the same library? Iced. Yeah, okay. Okay, interesting. What else do we find? Alright, so there's quite a few projects using it. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. Let's have a look at the guide. Architecture. Wait, before we do that, let's check the library. License, rather. What's the license? Let's have a look on GitHub, I suppose, then. MIT license. Okay, good. Alright, interesting. Interesting. It's like at some point we're just going to have to pick one of these and run with it, right? Widgets, interactions, and state. Okay. And then a while back ago we found this flex architecture. Do you remember that from a previous stream? Okay. Okay, we can delve into this a bit more. What's this runtime? Let's have a quick look. Let's have a look, see. Eyes written, blah, 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 blah. Right, well, it's not a very big book, but okay. you know, it's an introduction. Okay. Oh, what happened to that? I've lost it. Oh wait, no, it's here. Let's have a look on crates.io and search for iced. Not too many people. Okay. Okay, I'm putting that on the maybe list. Maybe. New. That's one of its things. Permissive license. Looks decent. Rust only. It's a strong contender at the moment, that one is. Realm. Oh yes, this is a Rust version of Elm. DTK pass placed. Beta stage. You need GTK. You have to install crap first. Oh god, no. Hell no. Realm. No. There, that's about the amount of time I'm going to give to this. No. Goodbye. I'm sorry. Right, we've got this Azul. If you're saying it like a proper Andalusian person. Azul. Document object model, HTML, CSS. It better not be using JavaScript. Let's have a look. Oh, the build's broken. Oh, that's not good. Yeah. Yeah. Curious. That might be useful. Static linking not yet available. Okay, fine. So it needs a DL. That looks surprisingly like PCB footprints, but It might not be. It might be buildings. I think it might be buildings. Python, Rust. Let's have a quick look. Render. Yeah. So it's like a. Yeah, this kind of thing. Okay. Permissive license. 5,900 stars. That's quite a lot. Let's have a look and see if there's some examples in Rust. What have we got here? Choosing GUI libraries. Well, here we go. Seems fairly flexible. Obviously, you can style it to make it look pretty and so on. I'll put it on the maybe list. Maybe. It's not 100% Rust. I mean, but it's mostly Rust, right? Right, so this is basically using C stuff, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not 100% sure about this one. We're gonna... Oh, that's supposed to be a V. So, to me that looks like lots of dependencies that might change, that you don't have a lot of control over. The larger the size of the dependency, the less you've got control over it. Because if it's used by many people, then it normally isn't flexible because of the usage requirements of all the people that are currently using it, right? Okay, so maybe. Who's next? Egui. Now this one is very popular. This is one of these immediate mode ones, though. Egui. So Where's the widgets? How about widgets? Yes, flexible layouts. Do I add that to my list? Hold on. Yeah, let's put that on the list. So oh, there's the widgets. Things that are missing from that, you know, tree views, list views, all that kind of thing. Who is it for? Best choice when you want a simple way to create a GUI, or you want to add a GUI to a game engine? No. If you want a GUI that looks native, Egui is not for you. Simple GUI, I don't think it's the right fit. This is how I've thought about this thing before. Like if you're doing like some little app with a couple of buttons, you know, just something simple, then it's probably okay. But yeah, it's not. I don't think it's the right thing. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it on the no list. No. Bad fit. Right, one of my windows is banging. I've got to go and close it. Back in a sec. It was a door. Alright. I don't think it's a bad fit. Maybe check again if others suck. It's not high on my list. Okay, so, right. And then we've got this U thing. Okay, let's have a look at it. Web applications. I'm not really creating a web application, but you know, it might be useful to say have a web server that hosts the planning tool and the app runs from a web server. I don't know at this point. I haven't decided. Maybe we should be writing a web app. Don't know. Oh, there's a playground. Well, no. Bundling new applications. Okay. Alright, viewing it, web application, blah 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 blah. Okay, concepts. Oh God. Oh God. But can you do it without using JavaScript? That's what I want to know. Like if the library does it, then that's fine. But I don't want to do JavaScript. Good idea. Components. Yeah, reusable chunks of stuff, yeah. Okay. See, some libraries go no callbacks as like a feature. But you know, I'm not sold either way on whether they're good or bad. Like, because it can get pretty messy. Because if you have one callback which triggers something, which then triggers something else, which has another callback, which then triggers something else, which has another call, it can get pretty messy. So, not sure about this, yeah, HTML. I don't know. I want to see some examples because I don't know what it looks like yet. Examples. Many examples. Do any of them have a screenshot? Just one screenshot would be good. One. Just one. Is it too much to ask for a screenshot of your example? JS callback, let's see how hideous it looks. Do I? I'm not sure about this. I don't know. I can't. Where's the widgets? Widgets. Like. Multi-threaded front end apps for WebAssembly. Sure, but no, that's the same ones we looked at before. Live demo. Site not found. Great. Okay. books, articles. I mean, like, is it a UI application, a GUI application? I mean, like, web applications. Let's go you. No, can't find widgets, seems to be more focused on web. That's what I think to that. Like, because, you know, we have to evaluate these like reasonably quickly. Okay, so what else have we got? Okay. So that's the end of that list. Let's get rid of all these, and then let's, you know, there's probably more out there. So yeah, there was this one, this Q meta object. Q meta object. Right. Now, this thing, okay, it's interesting. We came across this and talked about this once before. It uses Qt, so I went ahead, I installed Qt, and then 50 gigabytes of my disk space suddenly disappeared, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I uninstalled that. It was a nightmare. And then I tried to use the Qt GUI tool to like fiddle about with creating a GUI. Failed miserably. It was horrible and unintuitive mess. So I decided against that. Also, it turns out that this thing which allows you to use QMeta or QML stuff is essentially sort of like deprecated, because the author of this, right, has now gone on to write Slint. So it's sort of like unmaintained. No, not really maintained. QML/C based, too heavyweight. Minimal examples. Right, sure, there's plenty of widgets and stuff for Qt, but finding out how to do something with it, like later down the line, if you get stuck with it, I think would be a nightmare with that. Like, I don't think there's many people using it. Like, applications built with this crate 2. 631 stars. I don't think it's popular enough, so it doesn't sort of, you know, it doesn't meet my active user base requirement. Right, so that one's a no. Rust GUI libraries, and then let's go to crate style GUI. Native Windows GUI. Let's search for popularity. glib, call up. What's Cairo? What's this Taffy thing? Oh yeah, there's this Dioxys thing, isn't there? Yeah, let's have a look at this. I think we looked at this once before. Didn't we look at this once before? Pricing, license. What about components? Are they called components? Uh-huh. So is this more of a web thingy again, you know? Concurrent functional virtual DOM? I don't know. I don't know. I still don't know. You know, show me the examples. Okay. Examples repo. What is this? Had toast support, but I mean, you're supposed to know what toast is, right? What's toast? Close. It probably is one of these silly little notifications that pops up, like toast pops up out of the machine. Toaster. But, you know, it might not be. curious. Like, you know. What's a dog app? File Explorer. I don't know, it seems to be. It seems to be very web-centric, doesn't it? I mean, but you know, that might be the point of it. But it says user interfaces that run anywhere. Not sure about this Deoxys thing. Examples. Are we just going around in circles? Yeah, we are. Oh, I've lost the thing. Oh no. Oh dear. This one. No. Well, let's have a look at the anti-panels. Yeah, I vaguely looked at this before. Yeah. The thing with this Deoxys thing, right? I think I looked at some of this before. It's like you need to learn like another sort of programming language in order to do this. Like, is this Rust code or is this something else? Because it's inside this RSX macro, right? Like, is it? I might be wrong here, but I mean, yeah, I mean, do we want to do a web app versus a GUI app? Yeah, I don't know about this Deoxys one. I'm going to put it on the maybe list. Yeah. Maybe. I can't find widgets either. You know. Seems to be more focused on the web. I mean, in that regard, should we give this a maybe as well? Let's give it that. It's like, you know, why would I pick Deoxys over you at this point? I've got no idea. So there's this Deoxys thing, right? Let's go Rust GUI library. Oh, yeah. There's this site. Are we GUI yet? Most recent posts, 2019. Well, you know. Oh wait. What's this said? Why is building a UI in Rust so hard? Let's go on. Probably need to spend some time reading some of these things. It's so fractured, it's true. Avoid using object-oriented patterns. Iced. Curious. Right, so this entire thing is an advert for Warp. Great. What is this? What is this? Don't know. Right. GPGY? Rust? Let's have a look, see. Okay. It's basically, it's just part of some other GUI. It's part of some editor. So let's just say, oops, GPUI. No. Experimental. Yeah. So yeah. So what's on the list then? So we've got this crufty legacy thing here, right? We've got iced. We've got this Azul thing. I don't know why it pastes in underneath. It's really annoying. That one. And then we've got these two web-related ones. So that's the short list. Out of that list, the only one that mildly appeals to me is this iced one. The web ones don't appeal to me in that there's no sort of like widget overview and they seem to be more focused on sort of like web apps, right? Or just like little widgety things, or like mobile apps and things like that, right? Not sort of like desktop apps. Now, are we trying to create a desktop app? I suppose we need to sort of think about this and answer this question really, because if we say no to that answer, then we should probably be picking something like Deoxys or U, right? Or perhaps Tory, but it's got JavaScript and I don't really want to go down that road. If we're doing desktop app, then iced and FLTK probably sound reasonable. I don't want to spend all my life creating widgets and UIs and styling elements and all this kind of stuff. No. I want out of the box widgets and things like that just work, right? I'm going to make a note that I don't want to spend time writing let's write that down there. I just want to go, right, you know, here's a window, I want to split it down the middle, I've got a toolbar thing on the left hand side, I've got a menu bar at the top, and I've got the central bit with some tabs on it or whatever, and then I've got some properties panels and all this kind of stuff, right? That's the kind of thing that we want. We don't want to be sitting there like, oh, and I want to, you know, I want the properties panel with some text elements, I want to be able to go through it, and I want to be able to use the cursor and all this kind of stuff, you know, like you can do with Qt. Apparently you can do it with Qt. Yeah. Alright. So, yeah. So that's a quick little look into this. So for our requirements, we've got this. So I guess I'll have to have a little play with these ones and see where we get to. But that's my shortlist at the moment. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. So I think probably what I'll do is have a go at fiddling with this iced thing first, because it's highest on my list of things right now. And I'll also have a think about what I potentially want out of the GUI library, like, because if you remember, we talked about the architecture. Yeah, where is it? If you remember this, can we zoom? Can we have a zoom? Control? No. Clicky? No. Oh, I just want to, there it goes. Right, okay, fine. Right. Yeah. Let's just have a quick look at our architecture thing, you know, that we did a month or so ago. So there's essentially two sort of user interfaces. We've got a planning user interface, and then we've got the operations user interface. And then we've got a machine with cameras and so on like this that we want to talk to. This UI planning thing, it might talk to the machine, but it's not necessarily part of it. And the planning side of things that we want to do the panelization stuff, right, which is part of the UI planning. And it's possible that these could be sort of web apps, as it were, you know, using web technologies and potentially running a web browser. So instead of being a desktop app, right? So I guess I need to think about this a little bit more. I think I certainly need to try that iced one, and perhaps either you or Deoxys, right? Just to see what it's like trying to build something with it. So maybe I'll think about like an example UI that I want to try and create, just like a basic thing, you know, where you can load in a project, for instance, and you can see a list of components and that kind of thing, and then maybe reorder some cells in a table. That kind of stuff, right? So I need to try creating a layout for these in a couple of different things. So I'll get started with that a bit later on. I'll have a bit more of a little search around for some other GUI apps, GUI frameworks and so on, to see what else comes out there, because there might be one that I missed. And maybe we look at this Slint one again. You know, it seems to be quite popular, but the licensing thing of it is the problem on that one. But it might be interesting to try it, just to see what life could be like. Yeah. Okay, that's going to be fun. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start doing that. Right. Okay, but I need some munchies now. So just a quick one today. This is more of a sort of investigation, sort of learning kind of day today, rather than a deep in the code day. So I'm going to leave it there. So just remember, folks, it's only software. How hard can it be? We'll find out on the next one.